Greetings, lords and ladies of Westeros. We are back once again. This time, we're not talking Hot D, we are talking about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. The latest Game of Thrones spin-off to grace HBO. It chronicles the adventures of one Sir Duncan the Tall and Egg, aka Aegon the Unlikely. I don't remember which number Aegon he is. I think it's the 5th?
Yep, Aegon the 5th. Because he was the only crowned Aegon.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Aegon predecessor before him in the line of succession as a king
was Aegon the Unworthy, right?
Yeah. And he was like couple generations before Egg.
Yeah, he was one of Rhaenyra's kids. He was Rhaenyra's kid.
No, he was I think he was the son of one of Rhaenyra's kids.
Okay, because I know he's one of the survivors of the dance that was like severely traumatized.
No, that was the Unworthy was Fat Man.
Ah, okay.
You know, the parent.
Oh yeah, he was the one that had the bunch of kids. Yep.
Yeah, the Henry VIII living life like him.
Yep. But anyways, so we're here to talk A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. The first 2 episodes. We were originally going to do these on Sundays, but then we realized the episodes drop at 9, like usual Game of Thrones stuff, and that's too late for either of us to record, so we're doing these on Mondays. So we'll be putting these videos out on Mondays from now on. Since we didn't cover the first one in time, we're doing kind of a 2-in-1, and which is fine, because like the first 2 kind of just continue and build off of each other and tell essentially the same story. They're both kind of our introductions to both Dunk and Egg, mostly Dunk.
Yeah, and how miserable his life is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone just insults this man to his face. And it's crazy.
But the guy has heart. And I gotta say, this actor does a really good job at playing this, like, dumb, well-meaning oaf. And I mean that in, like, the best way possible.
Yeah, this pure himbo of a man that just steps in it like Brian when he says sus stuff.
He just wants
If you know, you know.
He just wants to help people, but nobody wants to listen to him. Nobody takes him seriously.
Yeah. Nobody does.
The only friends he has are his horses, and he had to sell those.
Especially Thunder. We love Thunder.
But like, I do like to see what I like about like this particular series of stories, and I like how the show is adapted, is actually seeing the knight caste system in Westeros.
Yeah.
You know, the knights that we've seen so far have always been like lords or, you know, children of greater houses. So like, you know, you have this image of a knight like a Jaime or a, you know, Beric Dondarrion or a Robert Baratheon.
Yeah, and then you have famous Kingsguard members that came from lesser beginnings, but were elevated to a degree where they're treated like lords,
like Sir Barristan, like Lacraecal, like Sir Barristan Selmy. You know, all the like, cause that's the one thing about the Kingsguard, right? If you're of enough merit, you could be raised to this higher position, and like that's kind of the whole aspirational story of Sir Duncan the Tall.
Mm-hmm.
And we really do get to see him start from the very bottom.
Yeah, for hedge knights, they're basically well,
they're
when
like,
it came to like the books, the books and the Duncan Egg short stories, hedge knights are viewed in a caste below an actual like
they're basically
knight.
they're basically a step above sellswords. Because like
Yeah.
they're knights, but they're not knights of greater houses. So
No, they're basically. Here's another analogy that I just thought of because it made the most sense to me. Hedge knights are like the Ronin of Westeros.
basically.
If you really think about it.
Basically, because they don't serve under a house, they have no direct master. So yeah, that is actually a very good analogy. They bounce around and get work from lord to lord until eventually they might get elevated.
And the only difference between the two is that hedge knights weren't disgraced in any way. They were basically
They're just poor.
Yeah. Whereas Ronin are specifically samurai who lost their masters and fell into crime.
Yeah. Whereas hedge knights are just kind of knights who aren't from greater houses but still have merit. They're just not as respected.
And also adding, just to clarify, it's not always to crime, but most of it was to crime.
Yeah.
Or they just gave up being samurai in Ronin entirely. Well, they have the stigma of being a Ronin. So not every Ronin is a criminal.
It's just a lot of them turned to crime because they had no other choice.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah.
Just had to put that clarifier out there.
So like with Dunk, you see that he still has the ideals of a knight, and he still tries to hold to the code of chivalry. And he's overall a good dude, because, I mean, we've seen plenty of knights in Game of Thrones overall, and a lot of them are assholes. You know, there are some good guys out there that do hold up the picture of what a knight is supposed to be, like Sir Barristan. Like, even post his disgrace, Sir Jorah. I'd put Sir Jorah in that conversation. But like, a good majority of knights have let power go to their heads, and so seeing a guy who does genuinely believe in being a good guy is refreshing, especially for Westeros.
Yeah. And this is a Westeros that's 100 years before the main story of the books.
And it's about 50 years before Hot D as well. About 50, 60 years before Hot D.
No. The timeline is...
No, it's after. Oh, it's Dance is before, because, they lost most of their dragons. Yeah, right. This is about 50 years after Hot D. My bad. Because the Blackfires are around now. Yeah, you're right. It would take place after.
Oh, I remember now now that I thought about it, and thinking of the different Targaryen kings that are named Aegon, you have Aegon the Conqueror, Aegon the First. Aegon the Second was the Aegon that is the half-brother of Rhaenyra.
Yep. Yeah. Who jerked off out the window.
Yeah, that he did. According to Hot D, of course.
Yeah.
But then you have Aegon the Third, who was Rhaenyra's son with Daemon.
Yep.
And
who watched Rhaenyra get eaten by a dragon.
And got crippling depression.
Yep.
Because of a lot of the things that happened in the dance. Along with his mother being eaten by a dragon, of course. Very depressed kid. Then we have Aegon the Unworthy. Well, and now Aegon the Unlikely.
Yep.
And Night of the Seven Kingdoms really shows, and I think it's the best course of action, personally, for me. They made Aegon a sassy bald child.
He's also crafty. He's also crafty.
He's the kind of kid that you see on the playground a lot of the time growing up. You know the kids, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I can do anything.
It actually reminds me a lot of how the books characterized a young Rhaegar, actually.
Yeah.
Because he's small for his age, but he's very clever and quick-witted, but very Well, I wouldn't say Egg is quiet. Egg is definitely
No, that
Egg
fucker's
is
chatty.
definitely loud and sassy. But like, it's a lot of traits that what we've heard about Rhaegar. You can see in an Egg.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And that being his grandfather, like
Yep.
Egg being Rhaegar's grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
is very evident.
Mm-hmm.
And I think showing that in the dynamic between the two is like one of the best parts about Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, and also
Along with-
you get to see the foundation of kind of like a king and his most loyal knight, right? Like
Yeah.
sure, Dany didn't end well in show adaptation wise, but she is definitely an example of a Targaryen that inspired loyalty. I would say that of Jon as well. I would say that of Jon as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. And you had just nothing but the respect of Rhaenyra King, like the Kingsguard that Rhaenyra took with her.
Yep.
Those motherfuckers are the ride or dies for her.
Oh yeah.
Like, I am eagerly anticipating a lot of the things that happened during the dance, especially like the Krakow brothers just
Yep.
throwing hands with each other.
We actually got to see them fight last season, didn't we?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I remember now.
Yeah, we
Those
got
poor bastards.
yeah, Eric and Arik.
Yep. It follows the same trope of twins being closely named to each other, which is weird as hell.
Yep.
But anywho, one thing that we kind of, it's not so much a critique, but a nitpick that we both kind of talked about just during our watch through is they've really shown how shit being a hedge knight is.
Yeah.
It's the point where they like,
We did not.
Even-
We didn't need to see him taking a shit. I really. It was unnecessary.
yeah,
I don't need to see anybody taking a shit. I don't care what gender they are. I don't need. I'm cool.
yeah. On top of that, we did not need to see old man Schmeat.
This definitely wasn't Schmeat. Dude was hung like his horses.
Yeah. Well, we did not need to see that man.
No, we did not.
The-
We did not need to see old man Dong at the end of his days,
Yeah, on top
or leading
and
to
this
the end
was-
of his days.
Yeah, this was the man who taught Dunk everything.
Sir Arlen
too.
of Pennytree.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it was cool to like kind of. I like how they like organically integrate kind of the flashbacks and backstory of Dunk, because he'll have these like reflective moments, and you'll get cast back into kind of him learning about what it means to be a knight.
mm-hmm.
And I do like that like one of the princes actually does like stand up for Sir Arlen. It's like, no, he was a good dude. Yeah, you could join the tournament.
Yeah,
This is one of the few eras where Targaryens were actually pretty decent.
yeah. They were good dudes.
Like, obviously we have some crazy ones lying in the wings
Yeah.
there. It's always a coin flip, but the ones that have more power are actually pretty decent people.
Yeah,
You got Egg's
Yeah,
dad
just-
being an asshole because he's kind of scared for like where the fuck did his sons go?
yeah. Well, he knew where one of his sons went off to, because that Aryan is a douche.
Yep.
And he's not. He doesn't have long hair
Yeah, in the show,
like,
it's weird.
yeah.
He's described as having like the long flowing locks.
Yeah, in the comic and adaptations of these stories, he's shown with long hair.
Yep.
It's a choice, and I want to see why they made that decision.
It's probably
Are they signifying long hair?
it's probably just because they didn't want to put a bad wig on him.
Well, true. And maybe because of like Targaryen madness, here's the thing that I've been noticing. They're associating Targaryen madness with like long hair unintentionally.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
You know, now that you mention it, because like Ares had the long matted unkempt hair because he went crazy. Although to be fair, the reason Ares' hair grew out, a lot of it was because he was held prisoner in Duskendale. But you know.
Yeah, but being imprisoned for a long period of time added to the madness. So.
Yeah, no, you're right though. It is an interesting correlation.
Yeah, and then you have our favorite character so far of this series.
Yep, the Laughing Storm, Sir Lionel Baratheon.
Yep, and this man, so extra.
He is so much fun. I would hang out with Sir Lionel if I was of the station to hang out with Sir Lionel.
Like this man,
he's a fun dude.
When we first meet him, he insults Dunk to his face, gets him to dance. Dunk steps on his foot. He looks at this man and just laughs and continues to dance.
He reminds me of how Ned described young Robert in the books. Like, back when Robert was handsome and jovial and shit. Before he was fat and depressed.
All because he wasn't able to marry and fuck Ned's sister.
Yep, even though he was out here, you know, sowing his seed throughout all the Seven Kingdoms.
You know, nobility double standards and all that crazy shit.
Yeah. But yeah, Sir Lionel's cool. I really like him.
Yeah, and then he really went up to bat. No, oh no, that's a lie. He conscripted Dunk and Egg to a tug-of-war match.
I don't know why he brought Egg in. Dunk I get, but like, that kid is... Why would you have him in the front?
He's the squire of Dunk.
I mean, I get it, but like, that kid's too tiny. You're gonna lose.
Yeah.
But you're lucky you had Dunk to anchor.
Yeah. And Lionel is just doing the most.
And I love that he just leaves in the middle just to get a drink. He goes, I'm thirsty. Yeah. And he just... He just, when he fucking re-enters the line, he smacks Dunk on the ass. Good job.
It is so dumb. It is so dumb, but I love it. And the one thing that just kind of like perplexed me a little bit, and I think it perplexed you when we watched the first episode, when the ladies of the night just looked at Dunk and they're like, "Oh, he's a hedge knight."
Yeah, like,
ugh.
Look, that was weird to me. 'Cause, like, ladies, with all due respect, you're whores. I feel like within the caste system, hedge knight is above whore. Like, yes, we essentially both work for money and bounce from person to person, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah. You don't have to be like sniffing your own ass about saying, "Oh, I get to lay with noblemen and they're like really strong knights. I'm special."
Like, we could at least be on equal footing here. Don't think you're above me. Like,
yeah.
That was uncalled for. But again, that was just more kicking Dunk while he was down, and it's just like, well, shit.
Yeah, that's all what this show has been so far. Just dunking on Dunk. This is what the show is. But it's showing how resilient he is.
Yeah,
if you really think about
for
it.
sure, and it shows his tenacity and like his can do, never give up attitude, and also his uncanny ability to get bitches. Because like the
Yeah.
puppeteer girl, definitely into him.
Mm-hmm. And I feel bad for her for what's going to happen to her in the future.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
But I'm sure they're going to adapt that particular part of the story, which makes me sad.
Yep.
I'm going to be very sad for her because she's a sweetheart.
She's a really sweet character, and we all anybody who's seen any instance of Game of Thrones knows sweet characters don't last long. You know the speech Cersei gave Sansa.
Yeah, but at least with her, it's tame compared to what other characters who are decent human beings got.
Without spoiling, it's sad, but it's nowhere near as sad as how other good people, meet the end of their circumstances. And I mean, it's not really a spoiler to say that she meets the end of her circumstances because, like, come on, it's Game of Thrones. Nobody's safe.
Yeah, but it's not instantaneous. We'll just say.
Yep.
It happens naturally, but it's just a bit accelerated because of the actions of just one asshole.
But yeah, overall, I think aesthetically the show looks great. I think it's paced very well.
Yeah. The flow of these first 2 episodes, like we've mentioned before, just kind of...
Because I think this is supposed to be 6 or 8, right? I don't remember.
In comic terms, it could be considered a mini-series.
I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna Google how many episodes it's gonna be real quick.
Yeah. It's perfectly acceptable to just be telling one of the short stories because this is technically the first out of the short stories being adapted.
Yeah, I think each story will have its own season, quote unquote.
Yeah. Because each of those stories should be told at their own pace.
Okay, so it is 6 episodes. That's what I thought. Because I figured this would just cover the tourney at Ashford.
Yeah, which is the first big story.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the necessary characters to hate, because we saw some of like the typical Westerosi nobility behavior of just insulting people to their faces, being snooty assholes.
Yep. This first story is all about establishing the friendship, or the beginnings of the friendship between Duncan and Aegon. I feel like their chemistry is really good, and like it's done a good job of showing, what they are going to become for each other later on.
Yeah. And you also have the makings of like what they've done for the live action adaptations, where they kind of add extra things that make a lot of sense, especially with how Westeros is in the show as opposed to the books.
Yep.
Some aspects of it are book accurate, but there are some changes that are
that work for the show world. Yeah.
And I think a lot of the interpretations in Hot D are more close to like what would have happened in those events in the histories, because we don't trust the gray rats.
Of course not.
And we can say this tentatively for Night of the Seven Kingdoms too.
Yeah.
but more so from the account of an actual Kingsguard member. To be fair, I don't think Dunk is smart enough to actually write himself. I don't even know if he learned how to read.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he had somebody chronicle his adventures.
Yeah, I think Egg might have done like some chronicling.
Cause also remember, like his deeds would be written in the white book as well. So like that's probably where it came from.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think the Grey Rats would ever touch that book.
Yeah, because they're not in charge of it. The members of the Kingsguard are the ones that actually write that shit down. So.
Yeah, so that would be from their account because Dunk would talk about it.
Mm.
And I think due to like how memory works and all this other stuff, how every time we recall a memory, some things change because it becomes a recent memory.
Or like how the one Targaryen said, it's like stories change as they're told, memories change as they're told, and he was talking about like recalling his battle against Sir Arlen in the joust.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, because actually it's proven. Well, since you have an actual degree in psychology, or at least you attempted to get a degree in psychology during your college years. I heard about this psychological phenomenon of every time you recall a memory, it becomes it can be manipulated because it's moved to the part of the brain where it just shows recent memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why recall is difficult as you get older, because memories have been in storage for so long. You kind of have to like bring it back up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall, this makes for, again, interesting Game of Thrones content. I like operating in the past because like I like to see how the world was built.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
So like, if we're gonna get more spin-offs, I would like more stuff like this. I think this is definitely a nice bar for quality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not as action-packed or as intriguing or like edge of your seat as House of the Dragon, but like I kind of like this more slice of life, explore the world vibe that Duncan Egg has.
It's low key, and I kind of prefer it's not so much low stakes, because that would be.
That's dismissing. That's dismissing Dunk, because it's high stakes for Dunk.
Yeah, but on a macro scale, it is a footnote in the history of Westeros.
Yeah.
But for just living in the moment, it is Dunk's story. It should stay like that.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's pretty solid. First 2 episodes did a great job of that establishment, and we'll see where we're at with this halfway point next week. But until then, we'll catch you guys later. Peace.